Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today I have a tip for you on how you can organize your Thinlits and your Framelit dies from Stampin UP. When you first get them, you see that they're all nice and organized like this, but as soon as you start playing with them, maybe yours looks like this. Well, how do you keep it so all of the pieces are there when you want to go and use them, and how do you know which dies go with what set? You know, if you don't put them away right away, it can be kind of challenging. Well, I've got a couple of tips for you. One is when you first get your die, find, either if you've got a copier at home, make a copy, or if at work, maybe your work will allow you to make a copy if you pay them back, or you can even go to a drugstore or something like that. And make a copy of your die. And yes, you are seeing a sneak peek of some of the new dies that are upcoming in the 2017 Occasions catalog. Okay, so make a photocopy. And this acts in a couple of ways. It helps you lay it back onto your, your board, so that you can go ahead and position it back so that you know how it can go all in there. And also, it allows you to keep track of the pieces and the shapes. What I do is I've come to this conclusion of using a magnetic backing to it. And I found these magnet sheets. These are actually vent covers that you can find at a home improvement store. I think you get 2 of them in a pack for maybe around $5 or $10. I can't remember anymore. And what I do is I take my photo sheet that I had, and cut it down to size, and I glue it onto the magnetic sheet. And we'll do this here together in just a little bit. But I glue that on, and then I also put how many pieces are on there. Not that you can't tell already, but it just helps make track, or keep track of it. So this way, as I'm using this new, yes, it's a detailed dragonfly die. How awesome is that? Okay, so here it is on a magnetic sheet. I trimmed it down to size and just use Tombow glue, the multi-purpose glue, and glue that on. And now I know exactly where these can be positioned so they fit back into my sleeve. How cool is that? And they're magnetized. So the magnet does go through the printer paper, or the copy paper, however you want to say it. And now you have that perfect placement so that it just slips right back into your sleeve, ready to go. And this is one of the new detailed dragonfly Thinlits. There's a matching stamp set. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's go ahead and we'll put this one together, and you can see how I organize it. So we're going to be putting together the Frozen Treats Thinlit die. And this is the backing that comes with it. This is where all of the little pieces were, attached to it when I took it out. And this makes for a great base. Now, definitely you could take this, you could take the base and take a nice new sheet and trim around that if you'd like. But I'll just show you here real quickly that you can take these extra pieces here too, and utilize all of the different bits and pieces of this, this vent cover. So let me show you how to do that so that you can maximize your vent covers. So you just want to use any kitchen scissors or any other scissors that are not your craft scissors, because you don't want to use your paper scissors for that at all now, do we? No, we don't, Dee. So just find something that's going to be about that size to it. And what I want to do is on the back side of this, of the vent cover, this is the side that I'm going to glue down to the piece that came with Stampin UP. And I'm going to do that using multi-purpose glue. So we'll get some of the multi-purpose glue down on the back. Oops, peel that up. And then this is going to go directly onto the stickiness, or the sticky side. Okay, now I'm going to see if I have, if I needed to, I think everything's going to fit just fine with that. Okay, so now what we can do is with the glue, I'm going to go ahead and put the glue, the multi-purpose glue, right onto the magnetic sheet. Oops, scoot that up, sorry about that. And do a little squiggle. Okay, and I'm going to put this on here so that it centers. And I did measure this ahead of time, and you know, most of the magnetic sheet that I have on there, even though it's a little undersized, will be just fine. And then if you want to, you can, well, you not want to, but what you'll need to do is trim up anything on the side. And again, we know this is going to fit into the sleeve because we're using the backing that came with our Thinlit. Okay, so we'll just kind of get rid of that extra. Now, how awesome is this? Now I know exactly what I have. And I can position these on here and, you know, keep track of them before I put them away, just to make sure that we have everything. So I've got all of the pieces on here, and the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many pieces go on here. And, or I shouldn't say, you don't have to necessarily count it, because here is like the little sleeve that comes with it. Again, this is called Frozen Treats. And down here at the bottom here, this tells me there's 17 pieces. So it says quantity 17. And what I like to do is just write that somewhere on here. So I'm going to put, you know, 17 pieces. You know, and then that way that's just a double check for me. I know some people, they may or may not keep this. I like to keep this with it, and I just turn it over to the back side so that I can see the name of it on the label as well, and slide that in. Now I know exactly how to put those in. I can keep track of how many pieces I have, and you know, so there again, here's what the, this is the new dragonfly detail. And here's going to be the new window box Thinlit. So that's this one. So I'll be, you know, doing that for that die. Here's this new die. It's awesome. This one is called Love Notes. And you can already see I've played with a few of them, and like here's the arrow, it's kind of slipped down there. So once I put this on here, I'll know exactly where the arrows go so that it doesn't slip down anymore. Here's another new one that we have. It's called So Detailed. And you know, we should be able to keep track of 3 of them. Whoops, there's that one. So there's my insert for that. This will be my insert for that one. And the last one that I have, this one is called Blast Edges. We're going to see a lot of these edge work in the 2017 Occasion catalog that makes such a cute little border. So we're going to be having a lot of fun. So I've got my copies made for my new dies. That way, when I have them all out and playing, if I have them either scattered or I go to store them, you don't get this because when you slide it back in, you can see that the little pieces start moving, and then I think it's easy to lose them that way. That way, this is why I wanted to make my tip to all of you guys of how you can take those magnetic vent covers and create your own magnetic backing for them, and it's really inexpensive to do it this way, and then you can keep your sleeves to store it. Well, thanks for watching my tip on how to organize your Thinlits and Framelits, and I hope you have a great day. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.